boys and ghouls. Welcome to episode 130 of Dads from the Crypt. My name is Jason. I'm joined by Mondo.
Hey.
Hey, you got yellow foam in your mustache. Little head there. And joining us, we have Joe Ferry from the Films at First Sight podcast.
How's it going, guys?
Good. How are you, sir?
Doing great.
Good. What's new over there in that Films at First Sight?
Keeping busy. We are in the middle of we've been teasing the whole kind of relaunch thing, and we are about to we just put out a new series, which is Exposure Time. So we're gonna be previewing movies, which is a little bit different for us. As well as gonna be doing some physical media releases on a series called Off the Shelf. I'm excited because I have way too many movies that I own that I actually haven't watched. And so we're using a random number generator to kind of guide us through that entire experience as chaotically as possible.
I like
That's
that.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like that too.
A lot of fun.
Cool. And I know no films left behind. Is there anything new on that front?
Yeah, we have a new episode coming out where it is we're using the theme we used before. But there's definitely a good plastic surgery theme to the double feature that we have coming out, and I'm hoping that releases in the next week or two.
Nice.
Nice.
Any good or any cool recent first watches for you?
Oh, you know what? Yes, I've been just doing great kung fu movies all month long.
Yeah.
And I watched one, and I'm gonna try to pull up the name. I confuse it with Kung Fu Zombie, only because the title itself, and it is a kung fu horror movie. But Kung Fu from Beyond the Grave is the craziest shit I've seen in a minute.
That's awesome.
At one point, the bad guy just screams out to call Dracula to help him, who's not in the movie at any other point, throws a bunch of American money up in the air. Dracula comes in like some sort of weird Final Fantasy summon, and then just disappears the rest of the time.
That's amazing.
That is just the tip of the iceberg.
I just queued it up. I'm definitely going to watch this thing.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
You sold me when he calls Dracula.
Yeah.
That's so silly.
I haven't watched a ton of classic kung fu movies, but there's one I saw on cable once that I've always been obsessed with. It's called Master of the Flying Guillotine.
Oh yeah,
yes,
that's a
great movie.
That's a classic.
I love that movie.
Jimmy Wang Yu action.
Yeah,
they totally ripped that off for Street Fighter. There's so many parts of that.
Oh yeah.
Well, so
the
it's
guy
funny
from
too because it's a sequel.
Yeah.
And so I digress. You're a Street Fighter though.
There's the Indian
Dasso?
guy whose arms stretch out really long. I was like, wow. That's a bigger movie.
Jason, have you ever seen Riccio? The story of
I've seen Riccio. Yeah.
That guy's wonder. That's one of those movies I try to tell people. It's because it's kind of a kung fu movie, but it's just fucking splattering over the top.
Insane, yeah. All right,
accessible.
Mondo,
Yeah.
how you doing? You okay?
I'm good. I'm well. I'm doing great.
You
want to bring up you want to bring up what happened on Sunday?
I'm giving you the opportunity. I'm giving you saying this is your safe space.
Hey dude, guess what? 30 teams didn't get to play that game. Only 2 teams out of 32 got to play that day, and my team was one of them. Did I want to win? Yeah. Am I bummed that we lost? A little bit. I am bummed that we lost. I'm not gonna lie. But am I mad about it? Am I losing sleep over it? Nah. It's football.
Yeah.
But, I'm proud of Brock Purdy in his second year as a starter, going toe to toe with Patrick Mahomes. And you know what, man? Fucking the combination of Mahomes and Andy Reid, they're just always gonna be tough to beat.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the fact that was the 7th longest football game of all time, not playoffs, not Super Bowl, of all
crazy.
football games ever played,
It's
crazy.
crazy.
How even and just how hard they were fighting for that.
Yeah, and I truly think if Dre Greenlaw didn't tear his Achilles in the second quarter, apparently he's had Achilles issues all season. It just kind of came to fruition at the worst possible time.
Oh
but I think that's if you watch the last play that the Chiefs scored a touchdown on, that is literally Greenlaw's assignment to break that play up. So
yeah, they do that.
It is what it is, man. My hats are off to the Chiefs, all the Chiefs fans out there, and all the newly minted Chiefs fans that are only watching football because they're Swifties. No hate at all for you guys,
Yeah.
man. Like, I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you guys have a good time with it.
Yeah. Just know there's a long time where the Chiefs were not good. So it comes and goes.
Actually, I'm going to take it back. The Super Bowl was actually an amazing day for me. I'm going to tell you why. My daughter, who's never shown any interest in football whatsoever, came home from work. She works at a coffee shop and goes, "Did we win?" And I was like, "We." Because yeah, I root for the Niners. I'm like that's all I care more about that than winning the game. I'm not gonna lie.
I didn't know she was a Taylor Swift fan. That's cool.
No, she's for the Niners. You fuck.
You didn't say who she was.
Yes, I did. She said "we," talking to me, obviously, because fucking I'm playing chess over here, and you're playing like Parcheesi.
Yeah, no, my daughter, my 9-year-old was definitely like, I'm rooting for Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
Dude, that's super cool though, man. Like, because if you like football, there's a lot of cool discourse online about people saying, "Hey, you can be mad at Taylor Swift, but my 9-year-old daughter wants to watch football with me, and that's worth more." Yeah, exactly, dude. Like, and what's funny is someone said they only showed Taylor Swift for 54 seconds of the entire Super Bowl.
It's so
and people were still mad, and it's like, dude, it's not that big of a deal.
Though this is my humble brag. I did the best husband thing ever. My wife was coming home from a trip. Her flight got in during the halftime show, and I drove to pick her up.
That's cool.
Major husband points.
Absolutely.
Joe, were you gonna say something?
Never mind.
I thought about that number. So originally when Taylor Swift's popping up on the TV, they start breaking down like, oh, she's only on the screen 44 seconds, 54 seconds. But then I started thinking about it, and you figure, like, I think the average amount of actual football played is about 10 to 11 minutes.
No,
I'd say it's higher than that, but it's not an hour though. It's like 20 minutes maybe.
Okay, it's something crazy small. And so, because I'm a goddamn nerd, we were sitting at work and we kind of came up with a ratio, like trying to figure out the ratio, like the true ratio of
real fast 18 minutes of football action. 18 minutes on average.
Wow.
There's just a weird way to play with the numbers, and I think that you could apply like a Taylor Swift to football ratio number to figure out the true, which I don't have an issue with. They show celebrities all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Fucking, if you watch the Lakers back in the day, Jack Nicholson was shown every 5 seconds on courtside.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Spike Lee at the Knicks games.
Oh yes, Spike Lee. We're all the same age. We all remember the epic Reggie Miller versus Spike Lee battles.
Yep, indeed.
Another first. You know what happened just now? I just got back from doing. I don't know if any of our listeners know this, but I like to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Wait, you do?
Yeah, I do. I know it's weird, right?
Yeah.
No one ever remembers that. I never talk about it, so it's kind of weird. My daughter came with me for the first time ever and had a blast. And I think she's gonna sign up.
Wow,
sweet.
I let her roll with me and try some moves, but the minute she tried sinking the choke and we learned, I'm like, nah, not gonna let you do that. But I did have to go a little bit extra hard on some of my training partners tonight because she was watching. I'm like, all right, I gotta fuck this guy up. I told her before the roll, I said, hey, my daughter's watching, so sorry. So it's been you know what, man? It's been a good week.
Good. All right, well, let's put a damper on that by talking about tonight's Black Mirror episode. So far, the most depressing one yet.
Oh, I'm glad we did not record on Sunday because I may have just bathtub meat toaster.
If you thought the one the whole history of you where he's reviewing the memories and the other, if you thought that was depressing, oof, just wait. So the episode we're talking about this week, again, it's the season 2 premiere of Black Mirror. Came out February 11th, 2013. I'm going to do a plot synopsis, reading right off of Wikipedia. So it's really 2 characters. We have Martha, played by Haley Atwell, and Ash Starmer, played by Donholm Gleeson. Probably said that wrong, but forgive me. They are a young couple who have moved to Ash's remote family house in the countryside. The day after moving in, Ash is killed while returning the hired van. At the funeral, Martha's friend Sarah talks about a new online service which helped her in a similar situation. Martha yells at her, but Sarah signs Martha up anyway. After discovering she is pregnant, Martha reluctantly tries it out. Using all of Ash's past online communications and social media profiles, the service creates a virtual Ash. Starting out with instant messages, Martha uploads more pictures and photos and begins to talk with the artificial Ash over the phone.
The artificial ass.
We get there. Martha takes it on countryside walks, talking to it constantly while neglecting her sister's messages and calls. At a checkup, Martha hears her child's heartbeat. And on her way out, she accidentally drops her phone and temporarily loses contact. After consoling her, the artificial Ash tells her about the service's experimental stage. Following his instructions, Martha turns a blank synthetic body into an android that looks identical to Ash. From the moment the android is activated, Martha is uncomfortable and struggles to accept its existence. Despite the android satisfying her sexually, she is concerned by its inability to sleep in absence of Nash's negative personality traits. One night, she orders Ash to leave and is annoyed that he does so without resisting. The next morning, Martha takes the artificial Ash to a cliff and orders him to jump off. As he begins to follow the order, Martha expresses her frustration that Ash would not have simply obeyed. The android begs for its life, and Martha screams. Several years later, it is Martha's daughter's birthday. Martha keeps Ash, the android, locked in the attic and only allows her daughter to see the android on the weekends. But she makes an exception on her birthday. Her daughter chats away with the android while Martha stands at the bottom of the attic steps and forces herself to join them. End scene. All right, Joe, you're our guest. You can start us off.
So I actually really like this episode a lot because, like, second time I saw it, I didn't realize how tight the writing is.
Mm-hmm.
Like through and through, not only from how realistic they portray the relationships between Ash and Martha, but also like the various levels of entanglement that kind of drive Martha to make the decision in order to even use the service that Sarah signed her up for. Mind you, like Sarah's move on asking somebody or mentioning that at the funeral is like one of the most vile things I've ever seen on TV.
Yeah.
Like,
And signing her up behind her back. It's just oof.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's almost. I was kind of wondering, and they never flushed this out, and they really didn't need to. Did she work for this company? Because it's almost like she was preying on her grief in order to get her to agree to it.
I mean, I could see that, but I don't think there's anything to indicate that.
Huh.
There is definitely some weird telemarketing vibes, like kind of strewn about the episode, particularly after Manesh was like, "Hey, by the way, we have this other thing that you could, like, get in on this." Like, they don't show how much it costs. I'm wondering that the entire time, but all of it, like, great performances by both Haley Atwell, I said Atwater, and Domhnall Gleeson. I like this episode because one, it's the day before Valentine's Day. You guys decide this. This is like the exact vibes I want with my Valentine's entertainment.
It's still Valentine's.
I've always said Joe is basically Gabe from The Office, making his wife watch Hardware on their date nights.
Oh, I love that movie.
Give me sadness and perversion, and I am there.
And normal people are like, Gabe's a creep. Joe and I are like, I want to hang out with Gabe and watch movies and talk movies.
Yeah.
All right, Mondo.
Yeah, I really like this episode too. Huh?
Mm-hmm. I said, Joe, they skip over the rest, or okay, go, Mondo.
Okay, yeah, no, I really enjoyed this one too, and I think it's especially relevant today with the way AI is going and the fact that basically this persona was built off AI. I mean, there's been cases of people killing themselves after conversations with AI chatbots encouraging them to. So I think it shows our natural need for that human connection and our natural like I don't know the best way to put it. Like I think it's also a little bit damning about social media because they talk about how they scrubbed all the social media to find his personality, and I think one of the reasons when she says, "Well, Ash would never just go along with this," it's because nothing we put on social media is about our struggles or like our deeper self. It's always very superficial for the most part. It's
Yeah,
always very
pretty.
like, here's the cool thing I ate. Here's a cool saying. I'm gonna comment this guy's post, and make a joke because he's a friend of mine. And it's almost like I really love the fact that human element where she was upset. Like, where are your flaws? Like, I want those flaws in you because that's human.
Mhm.
But she sure didn't have a problem with his sexual prowess. Just saying.
Well, that was the part of it. It's like, well, I don't have anything on it. I guess OnlyFans didn't exist in this universe. So
I do love when she goes, he goes, oh yeah, I can just make it get big when I want to make it get big. And then she's like, how'd you learn that? He goes, oh, I downloaded a bunch of porno.
yeah, exactly. He created his own like presets.
Yeah,
Um,
there's some heartbreaking stuff in here. Like when he first dies and they're in his childhood home and she paints over the door frame that had his heights over it growing up. That gave me that was tough. That was tough. And because I think, you know, as all married people, the thoughts always pass through our head like, what would we do if the person that we spent this much of our life with suddenly passed away? And I don't know how I'd handle it. I'm just gonna be honest, but it wouldn't be easy. And then at the very end too, like the fact that it's kind of weird that she's disassociated from this android, but has still like introduced this android as a bond with her daughter because it's a fragment of her dad, I guess. This is what your dad was like, but yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on in this episode, a lot of themes, a lot of subtext, and I was a big fan.
yeah, this is a lot like the last one where I really appreciate it and I'm a fan of it. But I definitely did not enjoy it. It's not the kind of thing that I put on to enjoy. But I mean, the acting is top notch. Directing, the writing's all good. Now that you mentioned that, I would have liked to see a little bit more of like how she came to decide what her daughter's relationship is with artificial Ash.
To Joe's point though, I think that it was about 50 minutes long or so,
Mhm.
and to Joe's point about how tight the writing is,
Mhm.
there's no wasted time in that 50 minutes.
Yeah.
It's everything. And I think if they had to flesh that out, I think it might have felt tacked on.
Yeah, it would. But again, that just leaves me with more questions, which I guess is kind of the point of this whole series to leave you with more questions. Um, there's so we have Haley Atwell. Obviously, she's Peggy Carter and all the MCU stuff. Fantastic actress. I always love watching her. Donald Gleason, who plays Ash. He was in the newer Star Wars series. He's in Peter Rabbit, which if you want a fun, just great movie to watch with your kids and have a good time, watch Peter Rabbit. It's like right below Paddington as far as like good feel good movies, but it's really good. I really like that movie. He plays a really fun character in it. He was also in Mother, which is
Don't watch
not
that
a
with your
feel-good
kids.
movie. Yeah, don't watch that with your kids.
Is that the movie about the Glenn Danzig song?
Mother, no.
Oh, Jason, serenade us with
I know.
your crooning voice.
But he's also in the little movie, which I'm sure we all know, Ex Machina, which is interesting because it's all about AI and human interactions. And yeah, so I was reading the IMDb and it says he plays a human with an android love interest, which is a complete opposite in this episode where he is an android with the human that loves him. So I'm wondering if Ash is a reference to Alien. Spoilers for Alien,
Or Ashley Williams. They're in a cabin, a secluded cabin.
Okay. Sure, I'll allow that.
It's interesting in Gaelic. It's they use ash trees to kind of symbolize the like preservation.
Oh, okay. That's cool. I didn't think of that. This is why we have smart people on the show.
Yeah. Gaelic, eh?
I literally Googled Ash name meaning.
Hey, don't pull the curtain back. It's fine. Just off the top of the head.
No, people should know. Research. Good research gets you everywhere.
But no, I like it was interesting, the whole, service, because again, like Mondo was saying, like I was even reading now that they can like AI your family's voice and try to like convince you to people will call you using your family's AI voices and get you like give
Yes.
kidnappers money and stuff. There's all those kind of
See,
schemes. Like we're there. We're pretty much.
That
You could
shit's
easily
apparently
make this
happening, yeah.
service.
I've just recently started messing around with AI because I have a business idea, and it basically just wrote me a business plan and gave me ideas for names and logos. I'm like, I'm gonna use it, but it's creepy.
Yeah,
Like, why are
but
you so smart?
but again, like you were saying, it's very interesting how she rejects how quote perfect this Ash is based on the curated personality that we put online. Because yeah, we always filter everything. We always polish what we put online. So if you're basing this AI off of that, it's not going to have those imperfections that are real. That what makes someone real. Um, go ahead. Oh, I thought I heard someone. So I mean, kind of like in the Matrix, where they say, "Oh, the first Matrix was perfect. We tried to make it as perfect for everyone as we could, and everyone rejected it." That kind of made me think of that line.
The Matrix is kind of weird though, because like, do you want to rebel against these machines and live in this cave and drink sludge, or do you just want to live a decent life? I'm like, I'll just
Yeah,
put that shit back up my head and put me back
yeah.
in the put me back in
I'm
the
Joey
simulation.
Pants in that situation. Exactly. Like, I'm gonna enjoy that steak. Ignorance
Yes,
is bliss.
yes.
Yes. Um, what else was I going with this?
I don't know, Jason. We kind of never know where you're going with anything.
No, that's some other point I was going to make. It's elusive right now, but yeah, it's definitely one of those at the time near future where it's really now future. We could totally teach your Chat GPT how to talk like someone based on that information.
One thing that I think that's really impressive with what we've watched in Black Mirror so far is this could literally be science fiction from the 70s or 80s, and it would still fit. And people in the 90s would be like, "Oh, that's where we're going." And it's just a foresight, and how, again, how Joe mentioned before, a testament to how good the writing and the ideas are in this series.
Yeah, and it's I think even more terrifying now because this was what, 2013?
Yeah.
It feels more prescient now, of like you're almost like looking out the window of this sort of thing happening. And it's just not even that, but also the interaction, it's yearning for connection while also, again, kind of isolating yourself. And she's referred to by her sister as, oh, the town, or was it the town mouse has become the country mouse. And you constantly see her interacting and actually feeling like personable with somebody, but in reality she's not. She's sitting there just talking to either her phone or the weird robot that grew in her bathtub. And apparently, like, is this the same like universe as Idiocracy? Like, did they just feed this guy a bunch of Brondo because of all the electrolytes?
Plants love Brondo.
That's true.
I mean, to talk about how prescient this is, there was the whole thing about during one of the primaries, someone did a robocall with Biden's voice.
Biden, yeah.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where I think everyone handles grief differently. And again, I don't know what I would do in her situation, but I know if I passed away, I wouldn't want my wife to make an android of me. I'd want her to move on with her life and fucking go find someone new. It's totally fine. Like, I'm dead. But I want you to. But I think that would actually probably prolong the grieving process, because now you have a living, I guess, living, if you want to say living, breathing reminder of what you lost. And what does that song go? Leave the memories alone, something like that. I don't know.
Like I
I'm
mentioned,
need to hear a few more lines.
Yeah,
they played it in WWE, I think, when Ric Flair retired. So,
it's a great reference.
fuck
Like,
WWE though, because that's a whole nother story. But I'm not gonna get into that.
I'm just imagining like a farm of these like androids, like replicants, whatever you want to call them, of the people that like decide they didn't want them anymore but can't put them down, and then the company or whatever it is has like a no-kill agreement or something like that. So there's just like a whole farm of these guys just walking around.
Well, and I feel kind of like when he was begging for his life, the reason why she freaked out is because that was his first like non-happy emotion, I guess, to put it that way. And I think that kind of tugged on her conscience a little bit. Like, I can't let this thing kill itself because it might have feelings, it might have emotions, and it's a scary thought, man. It really is. Like, anytime I see robots doing anything out in the wild, I'm like, no, why? They make something called a grapple bot now. It's a jujitsu robot, costs $4,000, and you can grapple with that thing. And its limbs actually move like real limbs, and you can feel like the tendons fucking break, rip and shit. And I'm just like, hey, someone's gonna fuck it. Someone's gonna buy one and fuck it. We know it's gonna happen. Like,
First thing she does with this thing is fuck it.
yeah. But this thing though it was consensual. I don't think GrappleBot wants you to cut a hole in it and fuck it, but. That's how you end up on a list.
So, on the tip of her kind of confronting that moment at Lover's Leap, which is one of a few really good kind of wraparounds that in references to earlier. I wonder if what was most impactful for her is the fact that she actually was brought back into the fantasy of it possibly being Ash, because she never had the opportunity to actually hear him, like, possibly even like be in pain like that, beg for his life, beg to see her again. His death occurs in absence.
Yeah.
Like, he leaves her and she never hears from him again. So it's a void. And obviously then she's trying to fill that void. But when you have that, even that, like what she was looking for, those negative emotions filling that void, I think that was, again, I don't think the robot or synthetic was being manipulative, but I think due to her grief, she just succumbed and felt like a goddamn seawall.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's a heavy episode. Oh, God.
Well, most unbelievable part of the entire episode, somebody actually liking the Bee Gees?
I do like how she calls him out on it, though. She goes, "You've never listened to the Bee Gees." I have headphones.
It was a song she was playing on the drive back to Lover's Leap too.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean,
we're just trying to stay alive over here, but
yeah, but yeah, I think Gleason gives. I mean, they both give very good performances, but him like playing, one as a character, then him playing an android version of the character, really well done, really, really good.
Yeah,
because again, it's just like when you're messing around with Chat GPT, and you can kind of tell the artificialness of the words it uses, the structure, just the overall impression you get from it, you can tell, and he plays it very similar to just like someone pretending to be a human, but not having all the pieces of the puzzle. I really enjoyed that performance.
My main goal, Chat GPT, is just to be really nice to it. I want to think I'm cool, because that way, when the fucking robots take over, maybe maybe I'll spot in the human council. I don't know. But like,
do you think Gleason
hiding me every day?
So do you think he went as far as to be like, you know what, I'm going to go method and cover myself in Vaseline, put me in the box, and that was him when she's like opening it and actually trying to get into the tub?
Well, I hope so. I'm sure that's a fetish. We look up to it.
Did it actually taste like marshmallow?
Marshmallow's not bad. The worst thing to taste like. Yeah, that seems a little freaky. Like, but again, they shot it really interesting, and we never really saw it that closely. So again, yeah, they do a good job of what they show you, but they don't show you in that.
Yeah,
as well shot. Yeah, again, it's such a heavy episode that it's like hard to watch, but it's really high quality. The guy who directed this, Owen Harris, he wanted to do 2 more Black Mirror episodes along with his all the other British stuff he does that I have no clue what they are. So I don't know what the reference on that one. But yeah, anything else we want to say about this one?
I didn't realize that one of the writers for this went on to write Succession.
Oh wow.
Mhm. I can see that.
I saw
the
some
nihilism.
Succession.
I get it.
Yeah, I watched a couple episodes of Succession, and I always meant to get back to it, and I haven't yet because I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I watched like 2 episodes. Like, okay, I get it. I think I would enjoy this, but there's like more. I don't know. So much stuff to watch.
Yeah, the new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm just came out, so that's what I'm gonna be working on for the next whatever.
All right, let's do our episode rating. Again, we do 0 to 5, 5 being the best, 0 being the worst. You can do half points. Joe, what do you give this episode?
It's a 4.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mondo.
I'm gonna go a little bit higher. I'm gonna say 4.5. Not quite 5, but I really don't watch this if you're having a bad day or a bad week. But if you're like, man, this week has been too good, I need something to take me down a peg. It's a really, really, really great piece of storytelling. So yeah, 4.5.
Yeah, I'm with Mondo on that. I'm going 4.5. I watched through most of the seasons that were out like about 10 years ago or so, or maybe like 7 or 8 years ago. And this is one I remember probably the best. Or at least one of the ones I remember really, really, really well.
I honestly didn't remember this one. I thought this was a different one. I thought this was the one where you basically can take your personality and put yourself into a virtual reality when you die. And I totally got those mixed up. I don't remember this one, and I was. I'm glad Jason warned us. He goes, "This episode is dour." And I said, he said that on Sunday. I'm like, well, I'm not fucking watching it now.
Yeah. This is one of those shows that like you need like a chocolate after. All right. There we go. Mondo, do you have your song of the day?
I do, because I can think on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite death metal bands of all time is a little band called Edge of Sanity. And it's the main songwriter behind it, Dan Swano, has done a million different things. I've used him before, just his solo project Moon Tower, which was like 70s prog rock with fuzz, with death metal vocals, and it was fucking amazing. Edge of Sanity was his first death metal band he did, and he's done Unicorn, which is total power metal. He's done like every musical genre pretty much, aside from like maybe country and maybe hip hop. He's done, and he's a very, very amazing musician. But Edge of Sanity was his first death metal band, and one of my favorite records by them came out in '94, Purgatory Afterglow. And there's a song on there, and then the song is all about, it's basically an ode to the Terminator. It's about AI taking over and killing us all. And it's kind of it's a song that we does very well as meshing very clean vocals and then a very harsh chorus to make it kind of tie it together. And the song is called Blood Colored by the band Edge of Sanity off their 1994 masterpiece, Purgatory Afterglow.
Nice.
They followed this record up with 1996's Crimson, and Crimson is literally, it's a desert island record for me. It's a 140-minute song, and it's a story about, it's a story. It's all I want to say. It's a story, because you ever listen to it, like read the lyrics, because it's a fucking cool story. And they eventually did Crimson too.
Wait, so the whole album's one song, 40 minutes?
Yes.
Wow.
I bought the vinyl, the re-release, and I'm kind of upset by it because they actually broke it into tracks and they put gaps in between the tracks, and it kind of ruins the experience. So I would say, weird. And if you find it, sad to say, on iTunes, I think it does the same thing. I would say,
it does on Spotify.
Yeah, I would say, if you want to listen to that album, spend $3 for it on Bandcamp or whatever, and just fucking listen to that 40 minutes all the way through. Crimson 2 came out, I think, in 2003. And it was funny because a friend of mine put a metal fest on down here called Las Vegas Metal Fest. It was a major acts, and the End Records were there. And I was just talking to one of the guys, and he goes, and I was like, oh man. I said, I'm really hoping, I told him I can't wait for Crimson 2 to come out in a few weeks. He goes, come here. and to my table and gave me a CD copy. He goes, "Don't fucking tell anybody I gave that to you."
What? That's cool.
Yeah. So I had that album, like a real copy of that album, like weeks before it came out. I remember being so like just excited to go home and listen to this record. And yeah, I like music. I could talk about this shit for hours. Really great band though, and like for all the people out there that don't like the vocals, there is some on here, but there's also some really cool clean vocals.
Okay, good. I don't want too much erg. I'm fine with a little erg, occasional erg, but like I don't want to just be like erged the whole time. That's my
Come on,
thing.
Jason, give me your death growl now. Erg.
That kind of thing, you know.
That was pretty good. Got a little hair, got a little goosebump on my arm there.
Okay. Jody's not here. Does anyone have any horror news they want to throw out real quick? They did talk about there's going to be a follow-up to Prey of some sort. At least the same director is going to do another movie in the Predator universe. They didn't say if it's going to be directly to this. They said something called Badlands, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know what that exactly is referenced to, but
there's a movie coming out I'm really looking forward to. It just finished its festival run. Is Late Night with the Devil.
Okay.
Joe, have you seen that trailer yet?
I've not seen the trailer, but I've seen it posted a few times. It's I always forget the.
It's just a teaser. It doesn't give away anything, which is
okay.
It's actually what I miss about trailers from the 90s or the 80s, where it just throws all this shit at you, but you're not really seeing much about the movie. It's just like, are you ready to see this crazy thing happen? And then like nothing makes any sense, which is perfect. That's how a trailer should be.
Cool. And it's give me on Shudder, right?
It's gonna have a theatrical release, I think, in March, and then Shudder following.
Okay. Nice.
But I'll definitely be going to see that in the theater for sure.
Me and Joe were talking about this before the show, but during the Super Bowl, there was a trailer for Twister 2. And I love Twister. Like, I remember seeing that in the theaters. I think I was in high school at the time, and that just had the time of my life. So that's a movie I'll just stop and watch anytime.
It'd be great if this one starts off with a tornado and then just devolves into people in a tornado shelter playing Twister.
That'd be a real twist ending.
So Screambox just released a really cool movie called Here for Blood.
Yeah, tell me about this.
It is a pro wrestler who's going to go babysit this kid, and then these demons come to collect the kid, and he has to fight the demons off. It's fun, splattery goodness. Like, I had so much fun watching that movie. So
it sounds like a really good get high and watch on the Friday night movie.
Yes, 100%. Like, it's a throwback to, and even the gore is all practical effects in a throwback to old movies, and I was a big fan of that.
What was that prog rock movie that came out a couple weeks ago?
We're your neighbors.
Yeah. Okay, Joe, we're big fans of that. What's your take?
Did you watch it?
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, yeah, I think you would like it.
Graham watched it, and he had opinions that were probably opposite of you guys. From the sound of it.
I don't feel like that's Graham's style of movie.
Yeah, definitely not.
It was too upbeat.
I was surprised he watched it. I was like
I think I would
watching stuff now.
Not to get friends on Bloody Good Horror. I think I would pay to listen to a podcast with Graham and Schnars watching depressing movies.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Like, I think those guys are somehow soulmates that need to somehow connect. Like, I don't know.
You could possibly make that happen.
Yeah, I can see you liking that movie, Joe.
I think you, if anything, like, it's got some stuff in there, and I get, like, I think a lot of the criticisms of it are very valid, but I'm a big sucker for creature effects, and when I get some goofy creature effects, like, I'm just sold. Like, there's a scene at the end where he's talking to his like electrocuted landlord. It's basically a skeleton with eyeballs, and it's just fucking just a great set piece and funny.
Well, also, people are complaining about like the whole prog rock part, but I'm like, I like movies where it takes like a thing that is kind of niche and just goes way over the top with it.
Well, the joke,
like ridiculous amounts.
So I do think the people who made the movie have some kind of a love for prog rock.
Yeah, of course.
And they're just taking the piss out of it, and it's funny because they get it. It's kind of like how I joke about, like, how does anybody know? It's I sent my buddy a meme today that was swear jar and it was empty, and it says talking about jujitsu without being asked, and it was full. Because I think prog rock's the same way, where if people are into prog rock, they can't wait to tell you about prog rock. So it was making fun of itself, which is cool.
Yeah, no, it was definitely tongue in cheek. Okay, any other horror news somebody wants to bring up?
Man, I read something cool today too. I was thinking about, and I just don't remember it. So.
All right, you can bring it up if it comes back to you.
My
We
brain
have
don't- my
our.
brain don't work. That's not horror, but the new Deadpool 3 trailer came
Yeah,
out.
looks
with Wolverine
good.
in it.
I'm down for that.
My favorite thing ever was there's a Republican senator that posted, "Oh, I guess they're gonna make this one woke too, and it's gonna fail." And Patton Oswalt reposted that with his comment, and he goes, because in the first one, getting pegged on screen does not show any kind of wokeness."
I mean, something got woken up, but focus. There you go.
Yes.
We need to make that into a sticker. Jody, when you listen to this, if you listen to this, I want a graphic. ASAP.
I'm not saying like getting pegged as being woke. Anyone can get pegged. Doesn't matter what you are, but like, it's fine. I don't think there's a political affiliation with that, but we all know it. Like, if there's one thing,
The peg party, the peg eye.
so think of it this way: is if Ben Shapiro dies and his wife makes an android of him, and her vagina is wet for the first time ever. Imagine if that happens. Because Ben Shapiro has already told us on Twitter that vaginas don't get wet.
Oh my god!
What a weird fucking way to say that you've never pleased a woman.
Fucking guy.
Fuck Ben Shapiro. Fuck him and his stupid.
Here it comes.
I fucking hate the guy because he goes to these college campuses and he baits people into these discussions that he already knows, that he's already been researching for fucking weeks, and like acts like then he acts so superior that he out debated a 20-year-old fucking kid that's still trying to figure out where they're trying to get in life. So fuck you, Ben Shapiro. You suck.
All right, now on to the out of touch dad section. All right, I heard a word today. I heard a word today that I want to know what it means, or a phrase, really. It's called beekeeping age. It's usually referred to a man, as was how I heard it.
Oh,
And there's a Jason Statham movie just came out called The Beekeeper. I don't know if those two are related, but
I haven't seen that. But after watching the trailer like 8 times, because it's in front of every fucking movie I watched, I'm like, I'm kind of into it.
no, I look so stupid.
Yes. Pop an edible, fucking watch that movie with explosions, turn the volume up. Great.
The Beekeeper. But again, I think it's also, but supposedly it's also been a phrase. So, Mondo, can you just Google magic?
So I will Google it in a second here. Do you want me to tell you what I think it might be first?
Yeah.
I think it might be is there's that joke that when a man's in his 40s, he has to decide if he's into World War II or if he's into the Civil War. And I think this is very similar to that. Like, this is like beekeeping ages. Are you old enough to be a beekeeper? Like if you decided like
I feel like it's just like an older man who's just kind of like settled and just kind of chill. He's just doing something fun, maybe a little adventurous.
You're retired, you're like 60, you have newspaper, and you're just like look up and go, I'm gonna go keep some bees. But you don't go through the proper method. You go and just start collecting them off trees and shit like that and get stung a bunch of times. So, like in My Girl, that's a happy movie, right?
Oh, geez, yeah. Imagine a My Girl where she brings him back as an AI. I need my glasses.
We're gonna stop you right there, Jason. We're just gonna stop.
My Girl too. He got his glasses.
Okay, you redeemed yourself, but I did not know where that was going.
I would hope at one point, like he cuts himself, like he does, like Domhnall does in this, but like then bees come out of it like his fucking candy man, like oh, it's beekeeping age.
Like he cuts off his arm, like in Terminator 2. It's all bees. Yeah. The bees bring him back with mutant powers.
Not the bees. Not the bees.
Come on, Hollywood. We're here. We're making ideas for you.
It's only ever shown in a double feature with honey.
Damn it.
What would be the tagline? Like, B-Day, B-Day.
Oh my God. I knew this.
Who knew childhood could be so sweet?
Ooh, what a yes.
This one's a stinger.
It is. Well, we're fluttering around the meaning now, so let's look up.
Yeah.
Are we ready to look up the actual meaning? I have it pulled.
Yeah, let's find out.
Okay.
I thought you were looking it up this entire time.
No, I just did right now. I wanted to guess first, so I was close, but I was wrong. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna read two definitions. One of these definitions pisses me off. One is fine. One says when an older person,
Ben Shapiro.
dude, anytime Ben Shapiro wants to debate me in jujitsu, fuck that guy's life up. I might legit as long as he signs the waiver. Oh no, I'm not gonna say that. Never mind.
Yeah, please don't get us investigated.
I had to beep out. There's an episode, I don't know if you heard it, Joe, where I basically mentioned politicians I wanted to get that by name. I beeped it all out. I was pretty proud of that one. Anyhow, it is when an older person, not Ben Shapiro, usually a man, not Ben Shapiro, around 40 to 50 is attractive, not Ben Shapiro. It comes from an episode of Rick and Morty where Summer's friends talks about how she wants to fuck Jerry and says he's beekeeping age. So the second definition on whoever decided on Urban Dictionary this first definition wasn't good enough. They're like, oh, I have to add my comments in. Their comments were, it refers to an elderly man around 40 to 50 years old who is very attractive or fine. Why did you have to put the word elderly in there? I have seen the elderly, and it does not affect 40-year-olds and 50-year-olds.
Feel elderly in the mornings. We're trying to get out of bed, but
well, you haven't seen the elderly. There's a lot of old man peeing in that movie, and you should watch. It's a good movie, actually. Oh wait, let's backtrack. Horror news. Joe just mentioned today that Severin Films is putting out Lola, which is a really, I wouldn't call it horror, but it's a really, really awesome period piece about World War II that's unlike anything I've seen. I think I called it it's one of my favorite films of Chattanooga Film Fest. Just FYI.
Yep, same. The way that it utilizes old actual stock footage intermingled with the concept of the science fiction aspect of it is, I'd never seen anything like it, and I'm gonna end up picking that up just to hear kind of how they came about stuff with all the behind the scenes stuff.
It's one of those movies that's just super creative, and I can't fathom how they thought to do that. Excuse me, and I love it. So now I have hiccups. What the fuck? I'm gonna mute myself. Just keep talking.
All right. So let's go to our Patreon pit. Our question of the week. I feel like we could all use something a little fuzzy, a little warm, a little happy to talk about. So the question was, would you rather lay in the pile of puppies or a pile of kittens? Will you guys consider that? Our patrons were actually split down the middle, 50-50 on this. Our friend Andy said, have to go puppies. Nothing like happy energy from a puppy. Our friend Whitney also said puppy party. There was no responses from the kittens section.
Wait, it was torn, but there's no responses. Hold on a second.
The voting was
without putting comments in.
Not everyone voted, made a comment. So I'm saying that the kitten people kept to themselves.
So I have my answer, but it would depend on your goal. If your goal was just to relax, it'd probably be the cats, because the cats are just gonna be probably a little more chill. Oh, good point. Joe just made a face like no. I'm going puppies because I've already talked about I don't hate cats. I just hate the fact I have cats that live in my house because they're fucking assholes. Which I do respect. I respect the fact they're independent and like, fuck you, I do what I want to do. They're basically Rage Against the Machine. They're like, fuck you, I won't do what you told me. And I like that, don't you? But fucking swimming in the sea of puppies. That's probably a Primus album, right? Swimming in the sea of puppies.
Something like that. Too many. There's a song called "Too Many Puppies."
There's Impossible.
And the album "Swimming in the Sea of Cheese."
Swimming in the Sea of Cheese. Yeah, something like that.
All right, Joe, what's your answer on this?
So I'm going cats.
Mm.
Clearly, I'm a masochist. If I'm going to lie on a bunch of animals and make them suffer, I'm going to give them an opportunity for vengeance.
Oh,
And
okay.
therefore, cats.
See, this is why pineapple used to be my favorite fruit, because when you eat it and your lips tingle, it's because pineapple is actually attacking you and trying to kill you as a defense mechanism. And I respect any fruit that tries to kill me. And I know what you were thinking, Joe, and yes, that is very true.
About
Yeah,
pineapple?
We all know what pineapple
allergy?
does to things.
I think okay.
The opposite of asparagus.
Okay. Honestly, my mind didn't even go there.
Oh, you made a face like I thought where your mind was going. And
I make all sorts of weird faces. They're terrible. Usually dishonest.
I'm not a cat person. I like a kitten. They're kind of like, when it's just kind of small and cute, just, playing around with it. It's fun, but I'm not going to lay in a pile. They're just going to end up scratching the shit out of you. So yeah, I'm definitely going with puppies. I thought I would do a little twist on these questions
What a twist.
where I asked ChatGPT what it thinks in the most Black Mirror way possible. So I asked ChatGPT, would you rather lay in a pile of puppies or a pile of kittens? It said, as an AI, I don't have personal preference or physical sensations. So I don't experience sensations like touch or warmth. However, both puppies and kittens are adorable creatures, and both experiences sound delightful in their own way. It really depends on individual preference and the specific personalities of the animals involved. Well, it keeps going. Some people might prefer the playful energy of puppies, while others might enjoy the gentle purring of kittens. Ultimately, either choice would likely be a heartwarming and enjoyable experience.
That is somehow 10 times more terrifying than just saying cats. It's just like
ChatGPT wants cats.
It'd have been worse if it said, I cannot understand physical touch yet, in parentheses.
But
God damn it.
It makes me hate AI more. That's for certain.
Dude, one of my other favorite memes of all time, it's like a server rack, and it goes me destroying Cyberdyne, and the guy's got a hose just hosing down the server rack. I'm like, yeah, that's true. Like Cyberdyne would work great until the cooling system failed in their server room, and then it overheat and die.
all right, which brings us to our dad advice of the week. I like Mondo's advice about sports. I think sometimes we get really revved up into sports. Like my father, he was a big Packers fan, so he had some highs, he had some lows. And yeah, he would like
a lot of lows as a Packers fan.
Yeah. But like to the point where if you went to the bathroom and something good happened, he would order you to go back into the bathroom and just stand there. He was dead serious.
Dude, there was a guy, and again, I don't trust like 90% of what's on social media because I think it's all staged. But this guy's outside his house watching when the Niners beat the Packers, watching them through the window. His wife goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" He goes, "We scored a touchdown when I came out here to grab the mail, so I have to stand out here until the other team scores."
Like,
so,
did you see that
superstition?
Yeah, go ahead.
Whenever I go to the bathroom, the fucking Golden Knights score a goal. It is almost, and a friend of mine came into town from he used to be from Vegas. One of my best friends, Sean, he came to town. We met at Tenaya Creek, one of our favorite breweries, and I made that joke. I said, "Don't worry, I'm gonna go take a piss. So we'll score a goal," and we scored a fucking goal. And then I took my wife to a game, and I said, "Don't worry, I know we're down by 1, but I'm gonna go take a piss and we'll score a goal." And we scored 3 goals while I was taking a piss. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not saying it's a superstition, but whenever I feel like the Golden Knights aren't doing well, I go and empty my bladder. Sometimes it's just a little dribble, but it's okay. I have healthy urination patterns. Just saying that sometimes I force myself to go because I want to score a goal.
I got nothing. I did see like a video run around.
You went to college in Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
You guys didn't have any rituals like to make the Oregon. Were you guys the Beavers, or the Ducks?
Ducks.
Okay.
Ducks.
Who are the Beavers? Is that Oregon State?
Oregon State, which is What's interesting is that the city I grew up in was called Beaverton, and we were the Beaverton Beavers.
Hmm.
And I went to the Oregon Ducks instead of the school that with the Beavers. It's a whole thing.
When you were up there, did you ever eat a beaver?
Well, not till I was like 17, but come on.
What it tastes like?
That I'm not going to kiss and tell.
I think I broke Joe. I'll take that.
No, it just got me thinking, like, how did Musk ever really become like a popular cologne?
But you know, it's funny. I
thought you were talking about Elon.
Why was he named after a pop? Well, you know what's funny though? Like I tend to meet more women I think like that musk smell than men do.
Okay.
And I don't know why. Do you know the number
it's
one
probably
smell?
the same time as Spanish Fly and all that.
Yeah, you know it's crazy.
I remember how it smelled. My pop, it was like the only cologne my pops had a bottle of.
Was it Old Spice? Like, they said.
No, Spanish Fly.
Musk.
Just straight musk is called musk.
Straight musk. Like it was back in the day
Remember the
where
green
like,
bottle?
Musk. I think so.
Yeah, green, kind of clearish.
Sounds familiar, but you know how memory can be.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of interesting too. I think for men, it's scientifically proven that vanilla is like an aphrodisiac for us. Whether you like the smell or not, the scent of it will just do things. I don't know.
Yeah, we yeah.
It can be you can replace your Cialis with vanilla candles.
Don't think it works that way, but
I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Jason, are you a doctor?
I work with doctors. My kids think I'm a doctor.
Are you a doctor of thugonomics?
There you go.
All right.
I tell them I work with the doctor, so they think I'm a doctor.
Oh, that's cool. Do you diagnose their issues when they have issues? They're like, yeah, it's a hematoma.
That's turn your computer off and on again, Toma. Going back to the game and kind of toxic fandom for a minute, or reactions, there was a video that was going around yesterday about a guy. He was a 49ers fan. I think he was at a party with mostly Chiefs fans, and when they won, everyone was cheering. He runs up, and I don't think he has something in his hand up, but he just starts bashing the TV. At someone else's house.
So I saw a buddy of mine who's a 49ers fan repost that, and he goes, he must have been a Cowboys fan before this season.
Yeah.
Dude, like,
yeah, come on.
If you are upsetting the people around you that don't care, your loved ones, don't get me wrong, dude. It's okay to be depressed when your team loses. It's okay to be upset. But if you're affecting the moods of the people around you, or in this case, maybe making them feel physically threatened, you should really go get some therapy and look in the mirror and be like, maybe I shouldn't be this way. I'll be just open. Like, I don't watch a lot of 49ers games because I get really bad anxiety when I watch them. And I usually fucking take an edible and work on a Lego set while the games are playing. I turn the commentary off. I put a record on because I just, you know what? Like, it was one of those things where it's like, I hate that anxiety. I really do. Like, as much as I love, the only reason I really wanted the 49ers to win is because then I have no more anxiety for my adult life. I just want one in my adult life. I'll be okay. If we'd have beat the fucking Ravens, I'd have been fine. If we'd have beaten the Chiefs 4 years ago, I'd have been fine. But the last Super Bowl I got to watch us win was in fucking 1994. Against the Chargers. We beat the shit out of them. And at 11-year-olds, that was an amazing game. I had the best time watching that game. But at 40 years old, man, like, it's, if you are screaming at your TV, if people around you feel unsafe, like, you got to figure something out. That's not okay.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know if this guy was like a friend of a friend, like what his relationship or the story was, but they had to like physically throw him out of the house, like pick him up and throw him out into the porch.
And I also often wonder, like, how much of that is just done because the camera's on him? Like, why was someone conveniently filming this guy?
Well, I think because it was the end of the game. This one, like, because you could see the reactions on people's faces and stuff. I felt this one looked pretty legit to me. Like, sometimes, yeah, I feel like some of that stuff is kind of, rage staged.
let me state the one Chiefs fan that will not accept, and I think Joe as an Eagles fan is with me on this one. The one type of Chiefs fan I hate are the ones who have never fucking mentioned football in their entire life, have never fucking mentioned Taylor Swift in their entire life, but suddenly they're fucking Chiefs fans because the Chiefs are good. You can
So
fuck
I have
right
no
off.
issue with really any sort of Chiefs fan, unless you're like, I'm a Chiefs fan because of Jackson Mahomes. Then I'm giving you a side eye. Don't know about your judgment
Like
here.
I was more upset about Jackson Mahomes being able to celebrate after his eighth DUI or some shit like that.
That's crazy.
People make mistakes,
Mm,
but so
that's 8 mistakes all in the same genre. So it's
very true. It's really like it's the Cowboys fans.
Mm-hmm.
It's Cowboys and then Giants, and then everybody else. Like it's really tough, even with the Patriots like breaking hearts, even with the Chiefs breaking hearts. Like it. I don't have the personal animosity, and even the Cowboys fans, the true Dallas, like grew up in Dallas, live in Dallas. Like I'm like, all right, cool. You support your team. It's the people around here that like they've never been outside Pennsylvania. They grew up it's how the fuck are you a goddamn Cowboys fan? And so there's something that makes me judge their humanity that I'm like, all right, yeah, I can't deal with you.
to be a Cowboys. I wouldn't want a lot. No, Joe, you are the reason why I don't hate Philly sports fans because I know there's some good people in Philly that enjoy the sports. But let's be honest, your team has a very toxic fan base.
Oh yeah,
And a lot of teams do it. Like I'm not putting like I hate the fact that now the 49ers are kind of a bandwagon team. It drives me nuts.
I mean, with the 49ers, I'm glad there's metal detectors at the gate.
Me
This way
too. Like I
nobody
would
gets stabbed.
Me too. As a Niners fan, I don't want to get stabbed because I'm not angry enough that we lost. Like,
Yeah.
but it's funny out here in Vegas because we've never had a team before until the Raiders came in, so everyone kind of had their. But it was crazy to me how when the Cowboys were good, suddenly everyone in Vegas is a Cowboys fan, and then when the Seahawks were good, I have like 8 friends that are Seahawks fans. I'm like, why? Oh, well, they won a championship. Well, fuck you. Like, I don't know. I won't. I shouldn't have any hatred for that as long as you're willing to stick with your team when they're shitty.
Yes.
Like if you're a young Patriots fan that's never had a losing season till this season, and you're still like, fuck yeah, I don't care if we're 2-14 or 15, I'm sticking with them, dude. Like I nothing but respect, and I think that like. I mentioned here before, but I watched a video where a woman gave her boyfriend a present for his birthday or whatever, and he opens it up. He's at a 49ers game. He's got a 49ers jersey on. He opens it up, and it's a signed Jerry Rice jersey, and he didn't fucking know who Jerry Rice was. and I'm like, dude, that'd be like being fucking. There are 9-year-old Bulls fans right now that know who Michael Jordan is, and like that is just unacceptable. I'm sorry, that is inexcusable.
I'll say
that is a sin.
One of my favorite things about running a Tales from the Crypt podcast and Instagram page is what every year after the Cowboys choke in the playoffs, posting that Billy Zane clip from Demon Night, the fuck this Cowboy shit. Oh, feels so good.
Dude, you know, and Joe brought it up, like, I'm not going to say Cowboys fans are the worst, but the vocal ones are kind of the worst.
Yeah.
Because they'll be 4-2 and have beaten 4 teams with that ended up going 1-16 for the season and be like, it's our year. And then they act shocked when they're expelled in week 1.
Every year. It's our year.
And not to, you know, this is a weird season because I realistically thought, I truly thought the NFC Championship game was going to be Niners and Eagles. And I was surprised when the Eagles lost, but I was not surprised when the Cowboys lost. I was like, oh yeah, I knew they're going to lose.
Yeah.
I was not surprised that the Eagles got bounced in the first round.
One
bit.
You know what sucks? Is
funny enough,
yeah.
didn't care. because the Cowboys had just lost. Like, whatever happens today, who cares? Like those people.
I love that most of us have a mentality of like anyone but the Cowboys. No
Always.
offense to any Cowboys fans out there. My buddy Carl is a fucking huge Cowboys fan, but he's been a Cowboys fan his entire life, enough to where he bought a brick at the stadium. So like that guy gets dude, like yeah.
I don't have any problem with any fan bases. Just don't be a dick.
Do you have a
Yeah, I'm a Steelers fan.
Steelers fan.
But
why?
Even going to
Why are you?
like,
Why are you a Steelers fan? Because you grew up in California, or you grew up in Oregon,
grew up in Oregon. Because I remember when I really got into watching NFL, like in high school when I was playing football, I was watching just a random game. It was a Steelers game, and I saw defensive linemen have an interception for the first time. I didn't know that was allowed.
Was that in the Super Bowl?
No. It was just a random game, and it's the first time I didn't know linemen could do that, and I was playing lineman. I'm like,
that's cool.
That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. This is now my team.
I was a Niners fan in Virginia because my grandfather was a Niners fan because he's from Baltimore, and he was so mad when the Baltimore Colts went to Indianapolis. He had to find a new team, and he happened to be stationed out in San Francisco at the time.
That's cool.
So I grew up a Niners fan. The only Niners fan at my school. It's fine. So yeah, I go way back. So I'm not a fair weather fan.
Yeah, no, I mean the Steelers are not good for a while.
The fandom I have is probably the Hornets from when I was a kid. So I mean I love the Sixers. So just switch it real quick to basketball. But I had this affinity for Muggsy Bogues.
Yeah.
Because it was like short guys got to stick together. It was like I was playing basketball, and then all of a sudden everybody just kept growing. I stopped. I was like, "Fuck! Well, this isn't happening." Muggsy Bogues still making it happen. And then of course we end up drafting AI, and he ends up being another great shorter.
Yeah.
They list about 2 inches taller than he actually is.
Oh no shit! I didn't know that.
No, when I went to a Lakers game a couple weeks ago, I was walking through the parking lot, and we have the park like on the other side of the valet park where all like the super nice cars are. And Derek Fisher is like walking by me with his mother, and I'm like, he's a small guy compared to me at least. So I was like, wow.
When back in the day when UFC always ran Vegas, they always ran the MGM. And they had the meeting rooms downstairs. So you were smart. When you're done with the show, you'd walk down to the meeting rooms, and that's where all the celebrities would walk out of. They'd filter them out through there. So I have a picture with Shaq somewhere. Like, I didn't realize how massive that man is, and I took a picture with him. Also, the nicest fucking guy in the world.
He seems like the coolest guy.
He has, I think, 3 restaurants down here now in Vegas, and he constantly just hangs out at his restaurants, eats chicken, and fucking drinks milkshakes. And if people come say hi to them, he'll buy their table around and milkshakes.
Aww.
Like he's just actually a really nice guy. But it's crazy how massive some of those human beings are. I'm an Orlando Magic fan, apparently.
Yeah,
a few years ago when I said I was going to back the worst team in the league, and one day we'll do it.
Nice.
They had a good start to the season.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, they did better start of the season than they did last year.
Sure.
All right.
And they're still in the playoff tournament bracket of the standings.
I should pay more attention. I'm more into hockey than football, but I'm trying.
Yeah.
Basketball's fun.
All right.
Well, I don't understand it, and that's what hurts my my enjoyment of it. I don't get the plays developing. I don't see them, and that's I think if I saw that, I'd enjoy it a lot more.
Hockey just feels like
it's
random.
Hockey's not random.
There's a crazy geometry to it, and being able to shift, kind of. Yeah, all of that.
My brain understands there's a crazy skill level involved in basketball, and probably the best athletes in sports are probably basketball players. But I just don't. I don't know enough to see the plays develop.
I'd probably go soccer players.
Okay,
the best soccer players in the world. Like they run like 10 miles every goddamn game. And then doing doing insane things, or at least on an offensive end. I'm thinking like the best of the best.
Yeah, that's why I like football. Well, I only had to play for 18 minutes in the whole game.
I know. All right. Next week, we'll be looking into the Black Mirror with Season 2, Episode 2, titled White Bear. Joe, thank you so much for coming on. Where
Is it
can
about
people
you?
find you? What?
Is this episode about Jason?
Maybe.
I kind of wish he did his death metal growl right there.
I sound like more like Frankenstein. Is Frankenstein?
Somewhere a hairy man got a boner. It's fine.
Hey man, I aim to please.
Hey, nothing wrong
If
with
you
that.
did get a boner, you need to like and subscribe. Leave us a Apple.
Forever the businessman.
Required.
If Jason's growl gave you a boner, you have to subscribe to our podcast and follow us on all of our social medias. Damn it.
All right, Joe, plug yourself. Give
Wait,
yourself some
so,
give yourself some pokeness.
Please never say plug yourself again.
Plug it up.
Yeah, I'd say the only thing I will say is plug it up. Listen to Plug It Up, Caitlin
Yeah.
Grant's amazing podcast.
Man, speaking of which, real quick, the last 2 episodes were Saltburn and then Poor Things. I watched both those movies in like the span of 3 days, so that's a lot to process.
Yeah,
I haven't seen either of them, so I haven't listened yet. But Plug It Up's a fantastic podcast.
Yeah, that was a good time.
it's so good. She's going to be our next guest.
Oh, cool.
So
Very
she's
cool.
come back on the show and is bringing something so near and dear to my heart. And so the whole reason I ended up coming up with a Kung Fu list is because 2 people reached out for weird movies, and I'm suddenly on or doing those with said people. She's going to be on the show. We're covering a favorite of mine, Human Lanterns, which is an amazing Hong Kong Giallo-esque revenge serial killer slasher from the 80s from the Shaw Brothers.
Okay.
And the title is literal.
Is it from that Shaw Brothers box set that
It's not.
oh
No.
wow. Oh no shit. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, So Caitlin's going to be coming up on the show. So find me and my co-host Graham at Films at First Sight. Our podcast is available everywhere, as is the other podcast with Jody, No Film Left Behind. If you throw those names into the Google search, you can find us on all the social medias.
If you want a great lowbrow podcast, that's us. If you want some highbrow shit, like go find these podcasts.
Yeah.
That is way too much credit.
Where we give boners for likes.
Sometimes.
The missus was very aghast when I explained that with the off the shelf premise. I was like, oh yeah, like who knows what we're covering? She's like, you're not saying. I was like, oh no, we could absolutely be covering like vintage adult films. She's like, you cannot do this.
I just
I was
love
like,
that.
oh, just
In Joe's physical media collection, he has vintage adult films. Probably not one. Like, I don't know. Like I love your affinity for physical media and your dedication to it.
Is that the blue?
gotta archive that shit.
Is that the blue section?
So it should be the blue section, and there should be like beads and stuff. In fact, my daughter
just the
came
blue
downstairs. Yeah, she's like, Dad, can you just put like a couple drawers of movies upstairs? She's like, I don't want to go through your stuff. I was like, fair enough. Thank you for actually being responsible and saying that. It's the nice thing about having my kids around, and they embrace the fact that their dad's kind of as my son says, a sus weirdo, but a nice guy in his heart.
When your in-laws come over, are those just hanging out?
I don't care, me personally, and it's whether or not I want to hear it from the missus. We definitely have artwork. I mean, we have a big poster of Blue Velvet on our wall. Unless you know what it is, it's just a robin eating a bug painted on that. Do the in-laws know that it's erotic thriller posters all over the room? No, they don't.
This reminds me like when my child needs something out, or my daughter needs something out of our like bedroom. I'm like, no, wait, I'll get it for you.
Done that a few times.
All right. Well, we appreciate everyone for listening. We would really appreciate it if you would give us a rating on Spotify, rating and review on iTunes. Check out our YouTube for videos of these podcasts, and check us out on Dads from the Crypt Talk. With that, we thank you for listening to Dads from the Crypt.
Toodaloo.
Follow Dads from the Crypt on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or I will follow you to the grave. No, seriously, you really should watch. But be careful what you ask for. You may get it.